Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday, nearly the end of the week, and it's been a long week for me. I don't know what it's been like for you guys, but I feel like it's been huge. Hi, Kaz. Thanks for joining us. Tell us where you've been, what you've been up to. Are you still in lockdown? What is keeping you going in lockdown? Let us know. Tonight we've got James Ellis joining us. He's going to have a chat about their new single and maybe even tell us a little bit about his career. And if you want to ask any questions, let us know and pop them in the comments. Otherwise, just listen. We might welcome you into the room. Hi, thanks for joining.
Hey, Danny. Thanks for having me.
Kaz has already popped into the room and said, can you see it on the screen if I pop it up there? The comment? Yeah, excellent. So she's popped in. People can comment if they want to ask questions, they can. If you want to answer them, you don't have to. Let us know. So I guess we're here to talk about 16 hours as well, but I wanted to, before we get to that, can we start a bit about you and what got you into music and why country?
Yeah, sure. I got into music in high school. I guess I was in year 7 and probably through my brother, really, just kind of got an interest in playing guitar. He was always playing guitar around the house, and he was a bit older than me, so he kind of, introduced me to a bunch of cool music, and I started playing, not country at all, but with a good friend of mine, Joe Cope. We were up in Bendigo together, went to school together, and kind of formed a band. And had a high school band, played a lot of gigs around Bendigo, kind of youth gigs, and then started playing in pubs around Bendigo. And when I came to Melbourne, when I came to uni, just kind of naturally kept playing music, kept playing with Joe. Joe and I have played in bands together.
Yeah.
So go back a long way. And actually it was with Joe that I kind of first got into country music. We went to a gig, a Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds gig in Melbourne in 2003, and end of 2003. And Nick Cave had a couple of supports from the States. He had a woman called Nico Case and a band called Calexico. And Calexico kind of has a country influence. They kind of got a country and Latin kind of influence, but Nico Case much more traditional, I guess, country sound at that time. And we both heard those sounds and thought, this is really, really cool. And I went and bought the Calexico record, and he went and bought the Nico Case record. And
what a team.
Yeah, and just started listening to that stuff, and that's where my interest kind of came from.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. And I guess you did you keep playing your other genres and other things for a while, or did you just completely switch once you made your mind up?
Yeah, it was pretty close. I mean, I think we kept going with the other band that we had, our kind of high school band, for, I don't know, another year. But that's when both of us kind of moved to Melbourne for uni. And we stopped playing a lot of gigs in that band. So I guess it was a kind of natural progression. One, moving away from home, starting a new kind of thing, more of an adult kind of life, and then also moving in a different kind of musical direction. And then it was a couple of years after that, in 2006, the two of us started up this kind of country rock band called the Bitter Sweethearts, that we had for a bunch of years, and we played. It was the first time that I'd really started to think about writing country songs.
Okay, yes.
And we kind of played, twangy type songs. I don't know that I call all of them really country songs, but I remember thinking very, explicitly in my head, like, I want to write country songs, and I want to write for a country band, and that's what we did. We played some Hank Williams songs in the sets, and so that was kind of when it really, properly switched kind of musical focus.
Wow. And I guess, you know, you're going from these other genres and the other styles of music. Did you find it hard to switch writing and writing styles? Was that something that was difficult to start with?
I don't remember it being difficult. I mean, if I look back on how my writing has progressed, I would say maybe it was difficult than I'd realized, you know, at the time, because it's been you know, very drawn out kind of evolution of how I write songs, how I approach writing, and now I would say, you know, I write exclusively, you know, country songs, but you know, I guess that probably took a long time, but that was a natural process about figuring
Yeah.
out what I want to write, and it's kind of aligning with a much more country.
Country sound. I've actually
Yeah.
got a question from Kaz as well. She's just popped one in. She said, "When is the album out, please, James? And can't wait to review it for you and see you live again."
Oh yeah. When is the album out? Well, the album's
Yes.
out on October.
Sorry, I think it cut out then. What did you say?
It's out on the 16th of October.
16th of October.
I guess that's about I think it's 3 weeks away.
Yeah, that's scary.
Something. So it was supposed to come out earlier this year, but we decided to delay the album because of COVID, and we thought if we delay it, then at least we'll be able to play shows when the album
Yeah.
comes out. Unfortunately, we're in a pretty similar position now, so we can't play shows right now. But I'm really looking forward to getting back and being able to play live shows in Melbourne and then all around. You know, it's something I really, really miss.
Yes, especially being stuck at home at the moment, you must really struggle with that. Have you found that you've made the time in COVID and being locked down, has that made you write and do more things musically, or has it sort of put you to a halt and not being able to do anything?
Yeah, I've been writing a lot, kind of going through periods of it, but you know, there've certainly been weeks where I've kind of written a song every day, and then there'd be periods where I don't write anything. But I've tried to be as, you know, focused and productive as possible, because kind of early on I thought, you know, it's a really bad situation, um, for everybody. It's a lot
Yeah.
worse for people who are at risk, at higher risk of getting it, people who have got it. But I thought, well, you know, I'm at home now. I'm kind of stuck here. Do anything about it? I may as well try and, you know, be productive
Yes.
and try to sit down and write and just play lots of music. You know, just playing lots of guitar and learning lots of songs and listening to lots of music. Just trying to be involved in it as much as possible. Can't do the proper kind of album release, and we
Yeah.
can't do live shows, all that, but still do lots of background and fun music work. You know, playing music's all about music, and you can do that by luckily. So.
Exactly. And I think, you know, in some ways it's been good, because how often did we have time to just stay at home and sit down and do that sort of thing without having to be in a rush to go somewhere or do something? And, you know, even not just music, but anything. Our houses are all up to speed now, aren't they? All our cleaning's done, everything's.
Well, your planning is still not done, but
I'll have to come and do yours.
yeah, but I think that's right. You know, it's kind of this forced, you know, reassessment of you know how we do things. It's like, all right, well, you're stuck at home now, so
Yeah,
just, you know, try and use your time well,
exactly.
and it has been a lot of time to, you know, think about going back to normal life and going back to playing shows and doing that.
Tell you what, when we do get to our first show, how great is that going to be?
Well, we were lucky enough to play a show in May. It was basically a streaming show, but a venue that we started playing a residency at in February this year, just before everything shut down. Cherry Bar in Melbourne, in the CBD. They invited us in May. said, hey, we're interested in trying out some streaming shows, and we want you guys to be the first band to do it. So that had been like 2.5 months since since the band had seen one another and we'd played a show together. And so we went into the venue and, set up and played, and it was just euphoric. It was there was just so much joy on stage. Feeling very, very lucky and grateful to play that music. Before the lockdown, we were playing 2 or 3 times a week and always enjoying it. But I think also you don't quite appreciate how much you enjoy it until, you missed out on it.
Yes, I think come the end of COVID, we all have a much better appreciation of what, everyday things that we just took for granted, and even people, which will be great. Scott has just popped in and he said, hi guys, great to see you. Hi Scott, thank you for joining.
Thanks for being Scott.
Tell us a little bit, okay, so let's move forward to August when you released 16 Hours. Tell us why was this song chosen to release in August? What was the reasoning for?
Well, I think I wanted to put this song out because as the first single from the record, because it kind of, I think it represented well what the record sounds like. We had a big approach for recording this album. We got a couple of guys from Nashville to come out and produce the album, and was really interested. The first album that we put out, which is called It Ain't Texas But It Ain't Bad, we kind of did ourselves in Melbourne, and we kind of self-produced it. And it was just kind of, putting all of our ideas about how we wanted our country music to sound, into the record.
Yes.
And for the second record, I thought, well, wouldn't it be great if we could get, someone whose kind of sound, whose style, whose idea of country music I really trust and really admire. Wouldn't it be great if we could get them involved with, kind of directing our sound on the second record? So I was lucky enough to be introduced to a guy called Micah Holscher in October 2018. He was out playing with Margot Price in her band. She was touring at that time, and another friend a kind of mutual friend of Micah's and mine in Nashville, Craig Smith, said, hey guys, when Micah's out in Melbourne, you guys should hang out because I think you get along really well. Great. So when he got out here, when Micah got here, we went and had a beer together and had a chat, talking about old country music and, music and life in general and all of that. And then we had another beer because it was like, great, run rehearsal. But we kind of kept hanging out while he was in Melbourne, got along really well. I really appreciated his musical ideas and all of his country music background and knowledge. And I thought, I think this is the guy to do the next record, to produce the next record. He kind of did really well with that. So we chatted about it, and he said, well, I've got this other guy I work with, this kind of engineer guy and co-producer who'd be great. Like, we work together really well as a team. So I thought, great, this guy, Munoz, got them both out in March 2019 to Melbourne, and that's when we did the record. And so coming back to your original question about why we put 16 Hours, I think 16 Hours kind of has some really nice moments in it where it kind of captures their ideas, their musical ideas. And when I listen to 16 Hours, I can kind of hear Micah and Alex and their ideas going into that song. So I thought this would be really cool to put out the first single because there's a lot of background in there. We just listen to this rambling story that I've told. But that's the background to the song when I listen.
I love it. I actually listen to the song. I just love it. And it's really interesting to hear the backing stories of what goes into those songs and why they've got those sounds. That's probably one of my favorite parts about this job is hearing the reasons and hearing what if what I hear is the same as what you were putting across at the time and what you were hoping to put across, and that's what I love about it. So you've obviously been sitting on the album for a while. Has that been hard? Because I know that you, as you said, you wanted to wait until you could be out on stage. But when you've got something there finished for so long, is that hard to sit on and not let the world hear?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's strange. I've been playing a few songs from the record for quite a while in our live set, and I guess that was just because they were the songs that we were playing even before we recorded the album actually, and they just kind of naturally worked their way into the set. I was like, well, are we going to stop them now? Are we going to stop playing them live now? I mean, 16 Hours is one of them that we'd been playing for, I don't know, at least a year or a year and a half or something. I thought, well, I mean, we like playing them. I think people like listening to them. Let's just keep playing them. So, we were we had the music in our set that we were playing, but I mean, we finished the record really more than a year ago, and it has been very strange to just sit on it and not be able to put it out, and then kind of extend that as well from
Yes.
early COVID
Yeah.
and then now be in another situation where you think, well, the original reason why I delayed it was to try and be able to play shows around it, and then
Yeah.
we do that at the minute. It's it's frustrating, but that's just life, and I'm happy that the music is coming out and that people are listening to it and hopefully enjoying it. And I'm really looking forward to sharing the rest of the album with.
Yes. Have since actually officially releasing this song in August, have you had a lot of feedback? Have people tried to reach out in different ways? The social medias and things. What has people been saying about the song?
Yeah, I mean, people have enjoyed it. That's what people have said, and I mean, people are in contact through Instagram and Facebook. But it is a very different experience because if we'd been in a kind of normal world at this time, we would have been playing shows in Victoria and New South Wales and Sydney and hopefully Tasmania further
Yeah,
afield,
yeah,
and would have been chatting to people face to face and getting a feel from people, just playing the song and seeing people react to it in the crowd. I mean, there's nothing
yeah.
like that, kind of really getting a sense of how people react immediately.
Absolutely. That would be the most amazing feeling I can imagine. Beck has popped on and she said that, yes, album's out in October. So if you haven't already heard the single, make sure you hear the single and get the single. And then are you going to do a pre-sale for the album?
Yeah, we'll have a pre-order, pre-sale function available, so you can get out there and make sure that you get hold of a copy before they all sell out.
Exactly. Before they go and get the new album, can they still get the old album?
Yeah,
Which isn't really that old.
Yeah, I mean, so we put out our first album in 2018, July 2000. Just over 2 years ago, and we still have some copies of that, and you can always get digital copies as well from our Bandcamp or iTunes or wherever. But yeah, you can get copies too.
We've had Gail O'Neill. Hi, Gail. Hi, Dave. How are you guys going? They've jumped in and said good luck with the album, mate. And they're always around. And Chris has popped in and said hi. Thank you for joining, Chris. And Debbie has also popped in. She said great interview today. And we said hello to Scott earlier too. So you've got lots of people popping in and making lots of comments there, which is great to see. So what is the best place to find you if we want to keep up to date with your pre-order and when you finally get back to gigs? Where's the best place to find those?
I mean, we're on Instagram and Facebook and Bandcamp. We've always got the music available for sale on Bandcamp, but it's available in stores as well. You can kind of order it in through your store. It's on iTunes. All of the regular kind of digital.
And all your gigs, are they always on your Facebook page or the website? What's the best spot to find them? Can you remember when you had gigs and had to advertise them?
And I had about all that kind of admin stuff. I always put them up on Facebook. That's probably the best place to. But I'll always kind of advertise them on Instagram as well. But, you know, I mean, when we're in normal times, we've got regular gigs in Melbourne every week. During the week, Thursday nights, usually we're down at a bar called the Rook's Return, playing a couple of sets of honky tonk. Wednesday nights, we'd be at Cherry Bar playing a couple of sets of honky tonk. And hopefully on Saturday night, we'd be, I don't know, driving to Castlemaine or Beechworth or something, playing some 2 or 3 sets of honky tonk. But when we go into those shows are always posted on Instagram or
Excellent. So and it will come back. We are going to get back there. It's just we've got a few more weeks we've got to push through, and eventually we'll get back to it. So keep an eye out for when they come back up. I'm sure that everybody's already eagerly watching because we're all ready for some good live music and company. What would your advice be to anybody that wants to go into music in the way that you have? What would you tell anyone?
I think you just have to start doing it. I mean, you know, play as much as you can and listen to as much as you can, and kind of challenge yourself by listening to stuff that that you're not naturally drawn to. You know, because that's when you start learning about things.
Yes.
And you know, even if you listen to stuff that you know you don't directly play necessarily, you still might pick up some cool little bits and pieces, tricks, whatever. And also, the other thing I think is making communities with people.
Yes.
The big thing about playing music for me is sharing that experience, and I think that's one of the reasons at this time it's been so difficult, because obviously it's harder to share that experience when you are kind of removed by a screen, but trying to find people to play with is the first thing. Just hanging out at gigs and trying to meet people, and if you're trying to put a band together, just go to gigs that you like the sound of, and there are going to be other people like you hanging out and and looking to play as well. So that's what I would say. Community.
Yes. I think it doesn't matter what genre you're in. In Australia, music, it's just, as we said, it's always a big family. And if you start going to those places, you are going to find people that think the same and feel the same as you, and they might bring some new tricks to you as well if you're lucky. So that's some great advice. Well, thank you again. So what date in October was it again that your album's coming out? 16th. Friday the 16th. So make sure you keep your eye out, because it's only 3 weeks away, which means the pre-order will probably be out very soon. So jump over there. But in the meantime, head over to your favourite platform and listen to 16 Hours, and perhaps even order the other records while you're at it if you haven't got it. But thank you so much for joining us. It's been great having you.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for tuning in.
And yes, thank you, everybody. So we'll be back. We've got 2 shows next week and possibly a third already. So we'll be back on Tuesday at 6:30. We'll have Clint Wilson's going to join us at 6:30 on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, we'll be back at 7 o'clock with Johnny Kay. And keep your eye out, because there might be one popping in from Nashville on Saturday morning if all goes to plan. So just keep an eye out on the page and we'll let you know. But thank you very much for joining. And we'll see you next time.